Hello and welcome to In Her Ear Talk Show. Today's topic is on prioritizing of sleep. So, why should we prioritize our sleep? Sleep is important because it is when our bodies get to rest and regenerate, and it ensures that we have optimal physical, mental, immune function is working right, and also our cognitive functions well. The recommended sleeping hours for adults is about 7 to 9 hours. So you should try and get that routinely for you to enjoy the benefits of sleep. And insufficient sleep, also known as sleep deprivation or sleep insufficiency, is a public health problem that usually goes unrecognized because symptoms are not very typical, they're non-specific, so they can be associated with another illness, and yet it could just be a lack of sleep. And it is when you're sleeping less than 6 hours a day and it's on a routine basis. So during sleep we oscillate through different cycles that are two. We have the REM sleep and the non-REM sleep. So in REM sleep, that's where you have the rapid eye movement, and it forms the smallest part of your sleep, and that's where you have vivid dreams. And in non-REM sleep is when you get your rest in non-REM sleep, and then you also have it's typically been associated with slow rolling of the eyes as opposed to the REM sleep. So persons can experience challenges getting enough sleep due to time constraints. Maybe you're working long hours because you need to feed your family, or you need to get some work done in the office, and it is a short notice. Others can have adequate time, but they have trouble falling asleep or either staying asleep. So all these things really work to make you have insufficient sleep, and you need to address that so that then you're not suffering the consequences of lack of sleep. Some people, should I say, are they fortunate or unfortunate that they're actually short sleepers as a normal variant? They're able to get less than 6 hours of sleep every day, but do not experience any of the symptoms that are associated with lack of sleep. So what symptoms would you present with when you're having lack of sleep? You're having reports of fatigue, you have decreased attention span, you're having daytime sleepiness, you're having cognitive difficulties, you're having distractibility, you're irritable, and you don't want to go through your days when you're feeling like that, because then you're liable to make um, mistakes, and that can cause injury. So this has been associated with adverse health outcomes, including cardiovascular disease. You can have obesity, depression, diabetes, and hypertension. And also all-cause mortality has been associated with lack of sleep. So what can you do? You can get into the habit of a good sleep routine or hygiene, where you're creating an environment that is good for you to sleep. You're having a bedtime routine so that it helps you relax, and just being able to just sleep. Daily exercise also improves your sleep. Avoiding things like caffeine, alcohol, and especially towards bedtime. Taking power naps. If you have your days that you probably had short sleep in the night, during the day you can take a 15-minute, 20-minute power nap, and that will help you to be rejuvenated for the day. And then also working with a counselor or maybe a psychologist if there's something that you need to work through, because sometimes when you're having symptoms of a depressed mood, or you're being anxious, then that can also affect how you sleep. So working with someone to help you sort that out is going to be good for your sleep. You can also go and visit your doctor, because if you've tried all these things that we have mentioned, that you're eating right, you're exercising, you're having a bedtime routine, and it's still not working, perhaps then there could be something else that is preventing you from getting sufficient sleep that needs to be checked out by your doctor. So remember to visit the doctor if all that is not working. So ladies, I don't know about you, but what is your experience with sleep deprivation? And we'll start with you, Dr. Cherry.
Well, I am adamant about getting my sleep every night. So I'm one of those people who always gets her sleep unless something pressing is happening. And I don't have any problem falling asleep. Once my head hits the pillow, in about 5 minutes, I'm out. Now, my husband, on the other hand, it's like how you said, he doesn't require a lot of sleep, but he doesn't have adverse reactions to it. Like he still goes about his normal day, no problem, not yawning, like none of those things. And I'm like, sheesh, like you're not tired, right? So he doesn't have any problems with it, but I couldn't function that way.
Right.
That's
Similar.
true.
I have no issues falling asleep. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I am typically out. But I also, and I know Dr. Naisha is going to get into this, but I also have a really nice routine that makes sure that that's going to happen regardless of kind of what's going on.
So I think, for me, it's I sometimes I fall asleep easy, sometimes I don't. And I think when I'm having trouble sleeping, I would, wind down with my Kindle, take it to bed with me, try and read a book. And usually, I think after that, I'm out like a light, maybe in about 10 minutes or so. So I find that, reading for me helps. And I know Dr. Cherry will have something to say about using blue light when you're going to sleep. But I think that works for me. That works for me. It gets me to bed very nicely, and sleep
Right?
comes easy. Yeah. So we're going into a short commercial break, but don't go, because right after the break, Brittany will be telling us about all the mental health aspects related to sleep. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to In Her Ear Talk Show with myself, Brittany, with Dr. Chimatai and Dr. Naisha. And today we are talking about sleep, the importance of sleep, what happens if you don't get enough sleep, and all things in between. So, from the mental health side of things, most doctors, once they've kind of ruled out that there's not something medical going on, they will refer their clients or their patients to see a therapist. And so people will come and see someone like myself who will then start kind of going through and asking questions about what's been impacting them lately, what's been impacting them historically. We do gather information about what you're eating because we know that caffeine and foods like chocolate tend to encourage your body to stay awake. And so we will ask questions about what you're digesting, what you're doing throughout the day. And then we also really start digging into what's going on in your brain because we know that our brain, again, it is the most powerful organ in our body. It is the control center, it's the command center, it is the place where everything kind of happens. So our brain is designed to process everything we've experienced throughout the day when we go to sleep. So when you hit it, Dr. Chimatai, you really mentioned that REM sleep. REM sleep is where your brain does its processing. And that's where it will impact your cognitive functioning if you're not getting enough. So when you hit that REM sleep, that is your brain's spot, no matter how long you're there, to process anything you've experienced through the day, anything you've experienced throughout your life. So there are some people who have had some traumatic events, whether it be recent or long term, who prevent themselves from going to REM sleep because they don't want to have those dreams. Because the dreams is how you're processing whatever is kind of going on deep in your subconscious or deep in your mind that you may have at the surface level blocked, in the back of your mind it's still playing, and it's playing on a loop like an old TV show, right? So when you hit that REM sleep, that is your brain doing its job to process those things. So if you have a fear of that, you'll wake yourself up and then you won't get the adequate sleep. And then the next day and the days following, your cognitive functioning or your brain functioning will be altered. So you'll hear people say things like, oh, you know what? I almost wrecked my car because I wasn't thinking clearly. Or you'll see people have an increase of that irritability. And so they're arguing with people that they love or arguing with people on their job. So those are things that definitely come up when you are not getting adequate sleep. And then it also can start to cause you to have panic attacks. And you can have an increased amount of anxiety because you're worried about, am I going to fall asleep tonight, or am I still going to be awake? And so those sleep deprivation can then send you into almost like a manic state. So you've heard people who have diagnoses such as bipolar disorder or schizoaffective disorder, that they have these manic states where they're not sleeping as much, they're not eating as much. That staying there too long can negatively impact you, and it does give you the same side effects, or it looks the same as if you've been drinking and driving, or drinking and operating heavy equipment. So it does give you that, your brain, this illusion that you might be intoxicated. What about you, ladies? What's been your experiences?
I don't know. So like I said before, I don't have any issues with sleep. So I haven't had any of those kinds of side effects. I haven't seen them in my husband, who, as I also said, does not require a lot of sleep. But I feel like so many people are in that manic state where they're like making irrational decisions. I've seen a lot of people make irrational decisions, and it's probably based on the fact that they're not getting enough sleep. Something you did say that I was like, wow, what's the trouble? The chocolate. A lot of people say, I have a dark chocolate after dinner. And so like that's close to sleep time. So it makes me wonder, are they having trouble going to sleep because of the chocolate? And when I was like college for my PhD, if I was getting sleepy, guess what I would go get out of the vending machine? Chocolate. So I didn't even know, so it was something I did. So yeah, that resonated with me. I was like, oh.
Definitely.
Yes. So I think for me, it's the fact that, sometimes you cannot get away from lack of sleep. Sometimes you have to work long hours because there's something at work that's happening that, you have to put in those hours. So it's just, putting in your mind that really that, you need this number of hours a day, that if you're not getting that, then you find a way to get them in. If it's going to be during the day, just a 20-minute break to take a nap, that's going to be helpful. And then also just looking for another day, maybe at the end of the week, where you now take a longer, time to sleep. You sleep in, so that then you're getting compensating, or rather for that missed sleep that you had maybe earlier on in the week. And then also just making sure that you're prioritizing things. You don't have to do everything at once. Sometimes I think, we fall into that trap. Like, I want to get all these things done. You don't want to delegate, knowing that things will not stop. I mean, the world is still going on.
Yes.
It's okay sometimes for some things to just slip through. It's fine. The world won't stop. Just knowing what to do and when to do and how much to do. I think that's also very important, so that then, we are getting the benefits of sleep, because it's very important. And remember, guys, sleep is not only for the dead, because I think I've had that going on. Sometimes it's like, you have to keep doing things because you'll rest when you're gone. But no, really, you need to rest now also, so that then you're working optimally.
Definitely. So when we come back, we're going to take a short commercial break. But when we come back, Dr. Naisha is going to get us together with a nighttime routine. And I definitely want to make sure that we get a chance to talk more about what Dr. Chimatai just said, which is sleep is not just for the dead. We need to rest while we're alive. So stay tuned and join us on the other side of this commercial break.
Welcome back to our episode on prioritizing your sleep with In Her Ear. Y'all, we are having so much fun here today with myself, Dr. Naisha Cherry, Dr. Chimatai, and with Brittany. Oh my gosh, these ladies are so knowledgeable. And I'm going to help share about how you can holistically help yourself to prioritize sleep. Because guess what? It's important. And as Dr. Chimatai said, it's not just for the dead. We need sleep. We need rest every single day. And as she also said, we need at least 7 to 9 hours as adults. So y'all know that I love exercise, and so we need to get at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise every week. So that's like 30 minutes a day. Now, what to keep in mind is when you're exercising, you have to recover, right? And when do we recover? When we rest and or sleep. So definitely need it every single day. Now, what I will say about exercise, because it does help us sleep better, but we need to do it, at least 2 hours before bed, like earlier in the day, no more than like 2 hours before you're ready to go to sleep, so that you can have that time to calm your body down and you'll be able to rest adequately. As far as eating, you want to eat a balanced diet. You want to eat mostly plant-based, clean foods, and avoid caffeine in the evening, right? So try to get your caffeine in the morning, midday, but avoid caffeine in the evening because that can help keep you up. And as Miss Brittany told us, also chocolate. So no late night chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. No late night chocolate.
Okay? I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You can have it early, just not right before bed.
Exactly.
Clearing out the drawer.
Also along those lines, no spicy foods, lady, either. So if you're gonna eat spicy, maybe you avoid it at dinner. Maybe you have it for breakfast or lunch, So those are some good things to keep in mind. Dr. Chimatai, you talked about REM sleep or rapid eye movement sleep. And that's when our bodies are restoring itself. That's a stage of sleep where we have our great dreams. So you definitely want to have that REM sleep. So definitely take heed to what we're saying so you can prioritize your sleep and get good sleep, not just sleep where you're tossing and turning. So some things that you may want to do to have a better sleep evening time is have your night routines. What's the night routine? It's something that you curate for yourself because we are all different. Nobody does the same thing. Something you curate that's going to help you to calm down, to relax, to ease into sleep, and to sleep good throughout the night. So some things that I may do, you may or may not do. But here's some examples. Avoiding blue light, as Dr. Chimatai called me out of. Avoiding blue light if you can. So like those cell phones, those electronic devices, shut them off about 2 hours before bed. Something else you may want to do, take a nice warm shower or bath before bed. Maybe drinking some chamomile tea. Perhaps you want to take some meditation or some soothing yoga class before bed, like online, soothing yoga, bedtime yoga, they have it. It'll help calm your body, get you ready for sleep. So different things like that. Maybe read before bed. So just think about what it is that you can do to help calm you down. Listen to soothing music, things that you like to do that calms you down. So ladies, what are some things that you like to do at night that help you get ready for your sleep?
So for me, it would be, listening to music. And I used to do it a lot, I think, when I was younger. But I think as I've become older, I can do without it. So I prefer to read now so that I can go to sleep. And as Dr. Naisha has mentioned, having a nighttime routine, I think for me, taking time to do my skincare routine.
Oh, yes.
Yes, is very helpful because, it relaxes me and helps me to get into the mood of, getting into bed. So I think, those things are very important. And I think overall, just remembering that sleep is about resting. So you need to rest. You need to wake up feeling rested in the morning. So if you're not feeling rested, then it means that there's something probably that you need to change with your routine so that then you can get better rested. What about you, Brittany?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mentioned earlier that I typically just can fall asleep, and it's because of this nighttime routine. So one of my favorite things to do is to kind of lay down and project out all of my thoughts. So everything that I've been thinking about throughout the day, everything I heard, being a licensed mental health counselor, I do hear a lot of deep and intimate details about other people's lives. And so I have to make sure that I am processing that before I go to sleep so that I can get my REM sleep, because sometimes we're so exhausted from everything we've heard, seen, and experienced that we just kind of clunk out at night. So I like to project my thoughts out, and I like to ask myself, is there anything that's up there floating that I can actually solve right now while I'm laying in the bed? And when the answer is no, because 90% of the time the answer is no, then I literally say to myself, I am a self-talk person. So I will say, Brittany, let that stay up there, because there's nothing you can do with it, but it will mess up tomorrow if you try to think about it while you're sleeping. So I let it stay there. And then for me, my nighttime routine is only as important as my morning routine, which is to look at what I need to get done in the day, look at where there might be some times that things are going to be extra stressful, and I'll make sure to get the extra stressful things done earlier in the day, so that by mid-afternoon and evening, I'm back winding down and I can get back to my nighttime routine. So those are my favorite things to do.
And I love that. Oh my gosh, like that is so powerful. Y'all, I love it. Okay.
Yes.
That's something I need to work on doing myself, like projecting. And that's really good, because if you have a lot of thoughts in your mind, you will not get any sleep. Write it out, project it out, whatever you need to do. Take care of that, y'all. Get that night routine together.
Yes.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in to this episode on prioritizing your sleep from the In Her Ear show on the Mogul Channel station. Hey. So thank you so much. If you missed any of our previous recordings, go back, check them out. Follow us on social media, join our group. We would love to have you be a part of our family and talk more about prioritizing sleep and how you can get your night routine in order. All right, y'all. So thank you so much. Make sure you tell us what was your favorite part of today's episode. Follow the In Her Ear Talk Show on Facebook, and we'll see you next time. Next Wednesday. See ya. Bye.
Bye.